Yeah.
All right. Hi, everybody. It's 12 o'clock here, and I have Josie Read with Lifestyle Medicine, who's going to be presenting on nutrition tips for success. Just a couple of reminders to make sure your microphones are muted. I don't think you can unmute them, but if you can for any chance, please make sure they're muted. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to use the chat bar, and we'll do our best to add links and everything that you need. And Josie has access to that, so she can answer some questions. And then last thing, if you could please take a few minutes at the end of this presentation and fill out a quick survey for us. This helps us determine which webinars you all want so we can plan for the future. Sorry, I'm trying to admit people into from the lobby, so it's like I don't know how to talk, but I do. I'm just trying to multitask. So with that, Josie, go ahead.
Okay. Well, hello, everybody. Thanks for taking your lunch time to hang out with me today. And yes, I have the chat box open. Hopefully everyone, it says Lisa's saying difficulty accessing maybe the chat box or something. But I like this class to be very interactive because we're talking about practical tips with nutrition, and we're all kind of experts in our own world. So I've learned so much from people. This is a class I regularly teach. I'm always learning from you guys. So when we're talking about tips for traveling and all of that and healthy eating, please share and interact with each other because it just makes class so much better. But so like I said, this is a class that I regularly teach over here at Lifestyle Medicine, Nutrition Tips for Success. And essentially this class is designed to address the different environments that we interact with on a day-to-day basis. So that could be our home environment, our work environment, social gatherings, our social environment, traveling, vacations, all of that good stuff, and how we can better set up those environments to make the healthy choice the easier choice, because we know that's not usually the case. The unhealthy choice is always the easier choice. That's kind of our culture here in the United States. And while we can't change our eating environment, so much, or the American eating situation, we can just change how we respond to it. And so today we're talking all about summertime shenanigans, our summer environment. And for some of us, at least this is how I feel, but I feel like the summertime can almost be as difficult as the holidays for staying on track with your health goals. Our schedules get very busy. We're loaded up. There's all, we do have holidays during the summertime too. We have all these social gatherings, barbecues, we're going on vacation. And all of these events are just loaded with temptation, lots of tempting food, especially when we're like part of any celebration and barbecues and all of that. We're just surrounded, and we've kind of made all of these different occasions an opportunity to eat. They seem to always be surrounded by food for whatever reason, and it's always the unhealthy stuff. Burgers and hot dogs, macaroni salad, ribs. It's just like kind of rare to have healthy options at, parties anymore. And all the munching during the summertime on these foods can really add up. So today we're specifically talking about these three environments, or kind of the domains of summertime. We're going to talk about traveling tips and healthy eating, social gatherings and parties, and going out to eat. And again, please, I wonder what people are saying. They're having difficulties in the chat box. I'm not really sure what that means, but hopefully you guys can access that, because I want to hear from you on what some of your tips are for traveling. Okay, so vacation. This can really throw us off with our health goals, and I get it. I travel quite a bit, and I feel like it's something you always, you kind of have to train yourself to get better and better at it. But it can really add up whether you're flying or going on road trips. The foods that are available, are often not the healthy choice. And a lot of us have just gotten in the habit of relying on eating when we get there, or we'll figure it out on the road. I see that some people are having issues with audio. I don't know. Can Jasmine, AJ, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah,
We've got you.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
We're just letting people into the waiting room. I think that's the accessibility question.
I just see everyone saying, I'm having difficulty. I'm like, oh, can anyone hear me? Okay. All right. Good. Okay, so we're going to start. We are going to start with the air travel. This is a tough one. So we're going to talk about maybe some tips before you get on the airplane, and then once you're at the airport, some ideas for you. So one thing that kind of always blows my mind is people are like, wait, can you take food on the airplane? Can you take meals with you? And the answer is yes, you can take most foods through TSA. There are some exceptions there. So I kind of start on my slide here. Hummus, peanut butter, and dressings are considered like creams or liquids. So you still have to abide by the, what is it, like 3.4 ounce or 3.5 ounce rule with those, but that's pretty manageable with the little packs of peanut butter and hummus that you can get now. Same with salad dressings. But you can take grain bowls with you. You can get a little salad and take that on the airplane. You can pack all of that up and take it with you, which is a great plan. Taking snacks, peanut butter and jelly, maybe take a wrap with you, packing some of the pre-made snacks. Trader Joe's is a good place to hit before you go on the airplane. Taking an empty water bottle with you too. You want to hydrate as much as possible. Flying just dehydrates you so much. So take an empty water bottle. There's filling stations all over the airport. I'm sure we know that. And then also too, the flight attendants can fill up your water bottles for you very kindly. But also a couple of tips that I have besides just staying hydrated and packing snacks is to avoid eating foods that are too high in sodium. I don't know about you, but I feel like when I fly, I get like really poofy or kind of bloated. It can just make me feel kind of ucky when I fly. And I found that eating a lot of salt ahead of time is a big culprit of that. And then also, and I'm going to admit this, I love having like a glass of champagne, or I used to before I get on the airplane. It kind of relaxes you. It's nice. You're like, oh, I'm vacation mode. But I've found that that makes me feel so terrible. And it's just empty calories too. It's same with like contributing to the bloating and the dehydration that happens when you're in the air. Maybe just save it for when you get off of the airplane, kind of those more indulgent snacks or alcohol. But I feel like you feel so much better, if you kind of abstain from those. Robert says that he takes frozen water bottles through TSA. Oh, that's a good idea. Technically, it's a solid at that point. Someone said they have taken my homemade jam for my kid because of international travel. Yeah, that probably is a different situation. But having a few snacks and taking more than you think you will want or need is great, because we all know that airline is kind of messed up. Lots of delays and getting stuck in places. So taking more is a great idea, and you never know how hungry you'll be or how poor the options will be at the airport. But there are options between like the markets that you have and then some of the restaurants. Most of the time, it's just a fast food smorgasbord when you're at the airport. It's very tempting, but trying to avoid those. Going into the little markets, usually they have bananas, maybe not the best of the best, but bananas, apples, oranges in there. So fresh fruit is great. They've got the fruit and nut bars. I've seen Laura bars in there, Kind bars. You can get the little packs or cups of the oatmeal in a lot of places. Bento boxes, I'm seeing more and more of those. There's some of the grab and go healthy options. It's like Green and Go, or I can't remember what they call them, but they do have some little salad packs and the wraps. They are overpriced and it's not the highest quality, but there are some options there. And then, when you're navigating around for restaurants, maybe looking for smoothies that actually use like fresh fruit smoothie bars. I know like over at the Seattle airport, they've got some really great options for salads and bowls. They've got quinoa on the menu, bunch of good stuff. Maybe stir fries are an option, and maybe opting for like tofu or some other type of lean protein edamame instead, or getting like veggie wraps and sandwiches. So, there are options, but packing ahead of time is the ideal. So these are some of my favorites I just threw in here. Love the Laura bar. I feel like that's a good satiating snack. This cashew cookie is just one flavor, but it's just fruit or dried fruit and nuts kind of smashed into a bar. That's a good one. And you can take them with you, or you can often buy them at the airport. A Ziploc of Skinny Pop, that kind of lower calorie popcorn that doesn't have all the oil, and it's pretty low sodium too. So I like that one. Carrots or crackers or sugar snap peas are really good with a little hummus pack. Apple slices cut up. I always eat more fruit if I have it cut up for myself. or just any type of fruit that comes in its own package. So that's like the bananas, the oranges, apples, you know, the ones that stay pretty good. Cherries are also kind of nice to take, kind of good snack you can just keep eating. Or just, you know, a bag of nuts with fresh fruit. I feel like nuts are always available at the stores, at airports. You can take them with you. Sometimes you get them on the airplane. Just don't go crazy on the nuts, although it is a healthier choice than a lot of, you know, the candy bars and all of that, but they are pretty high calorie, and the mindless snacking on those when you're flying can really add up. So limit your portions, have more fresh fruit than nuts, or, you know, maybe opt for munching on the lower calorie popcorn or having some veggies with you. Yeah, smoothies are a diabetic's nightmare. Making sure they're full fruit. Sometimes you can get the like chia seeds added to them. You want to have some fiber in there. Sometimes a lot of them too with the smoothie bars, you have to be careful because they just add like concentrate, and that's mostly just juice, which would be a kind of a diabetes nightmare. Okay, road trip. This is kind of more my domain, going on a lot of road trips and travel. I fortunately in our van, we've got a little mini fridge, which is a lifesaver, and I can, you know, make little sandwiches and stuff in there. But for everyone else, you know, if you're not taking your RV or your camper with you, taking a cooler is key. So you can have fresh, you know, fruit in there, snacks, have wraps already made up, sandwiches, foods just ready to go. So you're just doing that planning ahead, having some healthy snacks on hand, kind of the same ones I was mentioning earlier. Having some of that guacamole or hummus so you can dip veggies or crackers in there. I love fresh fruit as a snack. I feel like when we're on road trips, the reason when we start eating is because we're bored. We're just like so sick of seeing nothingness, and you just feel like eating because it's entertaining. It makes us feel good. Fresh fruit is a good one because it's a lower calorie food, and it has fiber, and it's filling in the stomach, and it's refreshing because it has such a high water content. So it kind of makes you feel good. You fill up. It's so much of a better mindless snack than snacking on the, you know, any of those kind of refined carbohydrate foods that we typically go for. Try to skip fast foods, or you know, research menus ahead of time. This takes some savviness. If, you know, even at some of the fast food restaurants, you can find salads and maybe manipulate those to be a little bit healthier. You can stop at Subway and get a veggie sandwich. But opting for the grocery store and kind of looking, you know, where you're at with your phone, going to the grocery store instead of fast food is so much better, because you can load up on like the salad packs, like you see over here in the top left corner. A lot of great options at the grocery store. You can go to the deli and ask for one of those clamshells and a fork, and then you can put your salad in there and the dressing and shake it up, and there you go. You've got a road salad for you. Or a lot of grocery stores now have the chopped up prepped produce, you know, like the cut up zucchini and all that stuff in the produce section. So you can grab and go some of those, and maybe get a little hummus cup, or you can get some fruit there. Or you can check the deli. Sometimes the delis, depending on where you're at, it's not just all, what is it, like chicken wings and French fries. Some of them have some pretty healthy salads in there these days. I've gotten kale salads from there that are pretty yummy. So that might be a place to check out too. Someone asked about dried fruits. That's a good option. Dried fruits are just higher calorie, and it's not just because they add stuff to it. Sometimes that is the case, but it's just not as physically filling in the stomach as fresh fruit would be, because you have all that water content taken out of it. So it's just kind of concentrated fruit in a way. It's a nice condensed version, and it could be a good snack. I just like fresh fruit, and it always makes me feel better when I eat fresh fruit over dried, probably because of the moisture content there. So kind of wrapping up on the traveling tips, planning ahead, obviously, but I think this is a habit we just need to start getting into. This is something that we don't often do, planning ahead. But, you know, research the destination that you're going to, see if there's, you know, healthy restaurants, options. Are you going to be near a grocery store? All that good stuff. Another tip I have is plan to eat one meal in a day. When we go on vacation, oftentimes we're indulging, we're going out, we're hitting the continental breakfast at the hotel, and that can add up for sure. Starting your day with a nice thing of oatmeal with maybe some fresh fruit, or maybe it's a yogurt, or I've been really into like the overnight oats with the chia seeds in there. you just start your day on the right tone, and you can save hundreds of calories by doing that, just starting with that nice simple breakfast. And it's also, you don't want to skip meals too, because you tend to overindulge at the other meals. So it's a good rule of thumb, just like I'm going to always eat breakfast in, and then, maybe lunch and dinner you go out for. Cook for yourself whenever possible. Save a lot of money doing this too. So maybe opting for an Airbnb is a better idea than a hotel, because that's typically an option. They've got all the cooking equipment. Some hotels do have the kitchenettes, but they don't, at least in my experience, they don't usually have any cooking equipment. It's just empty kitchen. And two, something I found is you can ask for a room with a refrigerator. Especially if you travel a lot and you need healthy snacks with you, you want a way to keep them cold. So they can bring one to your room, or you can get a room that has a fridge. Try to get as much movement when you're traveling. This just helps you feel well. Just makes the trip better. We tend to get kind of stagnant, I think, when we're traveling. So whether that's just getting like lots of steps in, or maybe even, are you part of a gym? Is it a nationwide gym? Can you go, if it's like 24-hour fitness, or I go to Orange Theory, they have them all over the place, and you can just pop into those gyms. And that's nice too, because then I have a shower when I'm road tripping. And then try to eat well leading up to vacation, not in the sense so you can just totally go all in and just eat the unhealthiest foods when you're on vacation, but kind of the more you set yourself up day to day, the more fiber you eat before you go, I think it just makes for a better trip, and you just feel better. Got more Orange Theory people in here. That's awesome. But it's great. Yeah, we travel by van a lot, and so it's nice to get a workout in and get a shower, and then you just feel well for the day. And then this is a complaint I hear about quite a bit, is having traveler's belly, or getting more constipated when you go on vacation, which is very, very common. So like I said, eating a nice high fiber diet day to day beforehand is going to be helpful, but maybe consider, taking some type of a probiotic. I'm a big fan of the synbiotics that are a little bit of a prebiotic and a probiotic. So it's got fiber and probiotics in there that just kind of helps keep things moving along, can help prevent gas as well, and bloating. Drinking lots of water is helpful, and also movement. Movement has to do with digestion too. And then something too, I guess this is something I've naturally done when I travel. I'm a really big fan of chia seeds, but this is also like a really big TikTok trend right now. They're calling it an internal shower, which is disgusting sounding, but essentially it's almost like a shot that you can take if you feel really constipated, haven't, had a movement in a few days, and it's like a cup of water, juice of half of a lemon, and 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, and you mix that together, let it sit for a minute, and you'll see it gets kind of gelatinous, but it really does help move things along. And it's, it's kind of trendy or whatever, but chia seeds are just incredibly high in fiber, and they do kind of form this gel that pushes through you. So potentially, because if you're not going to the bathroom when you're traveling, you just feel really, really poor. So maybe something to consider. Okay. Parties and social events, our next little section here. I want to hear from you guys what you've done to navigate this. This is challenging for, a number of reasons. The whole traditional thing, especially like around the holidays, we're just so used to eating the same foods. We don't want to be the weirdo if we're trying to eat healthy. It's very indulgent. Some people get like offended if you don't eat their food. So there are some tips that I have. I think above all, communication is the best thing that you can do, and not like you're like, oh, like we're only going to have healthy food at this barbecue this go round, but like what I tell my patients here at Lifestyle Medicine is, you reach out to them via text message and say you're on this prescriptive lifestyle medicine program, you're trying a new eating pattern, it's really trying to make improvements to my health. So things might look different at this party I'm hosting, or I might bring my own dish. You don't have to go out of your own way, but I just feel like a little communication can go a long way. We just assume people are going to figure it out, or people know that we're going through, eating healthy or whatever. But I think just communication is the key to everything. So I think that's a good place to start. And Another tip I have is to preload with healthy foods. So maybe before you go to the barbecue or go to a friend's house, eat something healthy. Fill up on a salad, have a piece of fruit or something, so you don't go super hungry. It's less of an eating event for you. And really the reason we're there is to socialize and see people that we care about. So maybe that becomes more of the focus. Bring a healthy item with you, maybe something shareable or just something for yourself. Like we're in barbecue season. I have no problem just bringing a little bean burger for myself because I don't want a hot dog. And there's a grill there. You just throw it on. It seems like that's a less unusual thing to do these days. Or bring a big dish that, and I'm going to share some ideas here in a minute on some recipes. Avoid the mindless snacking. That's oftentimes we've got the chips and dip and the table with all of those, maybe removing yourself from that vicinity and stepping away. Every time you make those little commitments, sometimes that stuff will become habit, just trying to interrupt the process. Because you just sit there and you eat, and I do the same thing. You just start eating. You're like, why am I even eating this? You don't even know, and that adds up. And then navigating food pushers. I run into this all the time with people, and I have people in my life that are like this too. But do any of you guys have any like food pushers or people that you go out to eat with and you order the salad and they're like, why are you ordering a salad? You need to get a burger. Why are you on a diet? Like all this type of stuff. I don't know. I think that's like a form of harassment. But it's so true. And I think other people, they're projecting something that's going on with inside of them, and they're like, they want someone to eat unhealthy with. I don't know, but navigating that can be challenging, and just, remind yourself it's okay to be different. You're making the best choice for your health, your weight. I know. I think we all do. All right. So BYOD, bringing your own dish. We're in barbecue season. These are some of my favorites and fan favorites when I take them. Cowboy caviar is my favorite dish. This is like the dish of the summer for me. And essentially, I love having grilled corn like shaved into there, but it's like corn and beans and cherry tomatoes, red onions, cilantro, jalapeno. What else? I put mango in there. I think I always feel like I'm missing something with that. And then you finish it with a little lime juice and maybe some garlic powder, a little bit of salt, nice big bowl. Everyone loves it. You can use it as a topping on tacos. You can eat it throughout the week. It's a good side dish. It's very filling. That's a good one. Another one that I kind of discovered recently was watermelon mint salad. So it's just like cubed up watermelon with a little bit of chopped up mint, maybe some lime juice. Some people like to throw a little bit of feta in there. Tabbouleh, traditional like Greek style dish where it's like bulgur, cucumber, tomato, parsley. That's usually a hit. Hummus and veggies. Who doesn't love that? Just a healthier snack plate. This was one I made in one of my cook-along cooking classes recently. Tempeh bacon broccoli salad. So tempeh is it's a plant protein, and you can marinate it in bacon type marinade. Very flavorful. And then you just make this spicy tahini dressing on there. It's really, really good. And hopefully we can get these recipes out to you. That was a plan of mine, was to get some of these recipes to you. We'll find a way to do that. And a caprese salad, basil, tomato. I like to put zucchini, strawberries in there. You do a little mozzarella cheese. Pretty yummy stuff. And then the barbecue. I have a lot of patients that come here because we're here at Lifestyle Medicine, all about eating more whole food, plant-based. So a lot of people are like, I have a really nice barbecue and a smoker. Can I still use that? And it's yes, makes veggies 10 times better when you grill them. So veggie skewers are a hit, or using this little grill wok so you can put a bunch of seasoning on veggies and kind of throw them in so they don't fall through the grill grates. And it is so good when you do it that way. Zucchini is like one of my favorite things to grill. Grilled corn is super yummy. Portobello burgers. So you marinate your little portobello burger and throw that on the grill. Grilled romaine is very good. You can see that's kind of one of the little pictures there. It's crazy how good it is. And you can slice it up and make a salad with that. Grilled kale is also really yummy. Fruit does well. I've grilled peaches, pineapple, watermelon. You can do squash steaks where you take a nice big chunk of a squash and throw that on there with some seasoning. Cauliflower steaks. Tofu actually does really well on the grill. You just need to make sure you get your grill kind of lubed up a little bit and don't flip your tofu too quickly. But if you put a marinade on your tofu, it's going to taste better and it won't be as likely to stick. just a really good protein, lean protein source with lots of calcium. Bean burgers. Okay, and then dining out. I know we're getting short on time, so I'll kind of zip through these. But kind of what I was saying with everything is just having some type of a plan ahead. We live in the wonderful online world, so most places have their menu online. And so you can choose, go through that, maybe have a plan going into it, pick the right restaurant, check to see, does the restaurant have anything that's not fried, or is there, even a vegetable on the menu? Sometimes there's not. Certain cuisines are easier than others. So Mexican, Indian food, Thai food, Japanese, Greek, even, steak. I feel like nowadays it's pretty easy to healthify on almost every menu, just looking at the menu ahead of time and seeing if that's the case. But I can kind of almost navigate most places now. And then using apps like Yelp or Happy Cow. Happy Cow is going to be more like plant-based options at restaurants, but it can be a good way to see, if they have healthy, more, plants, quinoa, that type of stuff on the menu. Starting with a salad before you even look at the menu, I think is a good rule of thumb, because you start to fill up. And, when you go into these eating situations super hungry, everything on the menu looks good. So I like to start with the really healthy stuff first, the low calorie stuff first, and then go for there. And watch the dressings, because they can kind of lay it on thick with those. So ordering it on the side, asking what your options are. But starting with these little pictures, I all stole from Cheesecake Factory, because they actually have a lot of kind of healthier options on their menu. Order sides or appetizers instead of an entree. Worth a shot. Sometimes that's where all the healthy stuff is. So here at Cheesecake Factory, they've got these lettuce wraps that are avocado, all these veggies, grilled artichoke. These are cauliflower buffalo wings. They have Brussels sprouts. You could fill up pretty good by ordering kind of these a la carte. So that's kind of an option. Think about the plate method and make healthy swaps and substitutions. So, we want half of our plate to be veggies or fruit, quarter to be lean protein, and a quarter ideally from whole grains. So asking what your options are. A lot of restaurants now will have brown rice instead of white rice, maybe whole wheat bread instead of the white bread. Can you double, vegetables in a dish? It's always worth just asking. Try to skip the French fries. It's so tempting to order those, but maybe getting a little side salad. Can you do avocado instead of doing cheese or mayonnaise? Okay, reducing portions. Interesting statistic here. On average, a single restaurant meal contains 1,205 calories. So a little bit more than what we should probably be eating in a day, most of us. Portions are huge. They put way more fat, salt, and sugar into foods when you go out to eat, because they want to make it taste yummy. But the thing you can do here is just try to cut back on the portion size. So maybe you have a buddy you can split a meal with if you can agree on it. Or you can just pack half of it up. And if you can, maybe when you order it, it's like, oh, can I get the to-go box with me? And then pack it up. And then you kind of get it off the plate. A lot of us are just tempted to finish our plate. And I say, remember the mantra. This is always my mantra when I'm splitting meals, or if I just start with a little side, you can always order more. Because if you just order it, you're going to be so tempted to eat it when it comes to you. This is just a mindful thing to do. Is like, okay, so you're going to start with, recently I had like these chili glazed cauliflower bites at a restaurant. And I was like, I'm going to start with this and see how I go. I thought I was starving. I ate that and I was like, oh, actually, I'm good. And it also saved me a ton of money. So remember that. You can always order more, start small. Going out to eat, don't go overly hungry, which sounds weird for me to suggest eat before you go out to eat, but it really can help if you struggle with cravings and overeating. Maybe eat a larger meal earlier in the day, or have a little light meal or a piece of fruit before you go. Because again, when you're hungry, it's a powerful sensation, and you want to, you're hungry. The biggest, baddest thing on the menu looks delicious, and you're just more likely to overeat. Okay, and then being intentional about going out to eat. This isn't something you have to give up entirely when you're trying to eat healthy or lose weight. We just need to be more intentional about it. Make it less of a habit, maybe more of a treat, and treat yourself. Make it a nice experience. Dress up, choose a nice restaurant. Because really what it's all about the experience. I mean, I feel like going out to eat is one of the finer things in life. I love it. It's a time for our friends actually, go out and meet up. We always want to like just go out, So I think it's just maybe thinking of it differently. And the reason that you're there is to be around others, get out of the house, maybe try something new, eat slowly, mindfully, just maybe be a little bit more, intentional and change how we think about going out. And then wrapping up, my last slide here, talking about behavior change, because a lot of our eating behavior with traveling, social gatherings is just out of habit. These are traditions we have been practicing since we were young, the foods that we celebrate with, all of that. And a habit is a behavior that we've just repeated enough until it becomes automatic. So things you can do without thinking of them. But the good news is you can break your old habits and create new, healthier ones. But it doesn't happen overnight. You have to commit to the system and embrace the process, make little changes to your environment, and just take baby steps. And remember, every time you interrupt that automatic habit to, get the fast food at the airport or, go for the burger at the celebration, every time you even think about that and just maybe redirect yourself, you're creating new neural pathways that can last a lifetime. These things are not easy and automatic at first, and it can seem difficult, but we tend to focus on these big, lofty goals and not, trust the process and know that these little baby steps we take day after day are what lead to big changes. You look a year down the road, 2 years down the road, and you're like, wow, it's almost a completely different person, the way you eat and all of that. So kind of that, I don't know if you've read Atomic Habits by James Clear, but his whole thing is just trying to be 1% better every day, and just a different way of thinking about setting goals and making those changes that you want. So yeah, it was a quick 30 minutes. I see lots of interaction here. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have to log off or where we go from here. But yeah, I'm happy to stick around and answer questions if there were any in here, or if there's any questions before you guys jump off.
We can stay on so you can answer questions. You'll just have some people jumping off to go back to work. So yeah.
For sure. Okay.
Cool. I think there was some questions in the chat bar about your favorite dressings and other things to make.
Favorite dressings. Usually I like to freely just add things to a cup and mix it up. So typically it's like a little bit of olive oil. I'm a big fan of investing in nicer vinegars. Some of the actually like olive oil specialty stores also have really high quality vinegars that you can add to a salad almost without any oil, any seasoning in there. So that could be nice to check out. It's a lower calorie way to do it. But I usually like to put some seasoning in there. It's kind of depends, on the dish. If I'm kind of thinking more like, I think in cuisines quite a bit, like there's ginger miso if I'm doing kind of more of a Asian style salad, or if I'm doing like maybe more of a caprese salad, that's like a balsamic vinegar type flavor, Italian. It really just depends, but I think maybe getting some nice vinegars and looking that way. Trader Joe's, if you're not into making your own dressings, they have in the produce section some wonderful options that are a lot lower fat and don't have nearly the sugar and salt added to them that some of the other places do. What liquid do you marinate veggies in? Another one that I think, I just throw things together, but typically it's soy sauce, balsamic vinegar, garlic powder, onion powder, a little Dijon in there too can kind of help emulsify and it adds flavor. Some Italian seasonings are really good. I'm thinking like my zucchini marinade, but same kind of it's good on all those veggies. Soy sauce, balsamic, a little bit of olive oil, Dijon, garlic, onion powder, and then like Italian seasoning is really good. Let's see. Love the lettuce wraps. Any seasonings? Let's see. Cauliflower steaks. That's good. I think that's becoming a more popular dish when they're seasoned properly with chimichurri. I love chimichurri, especially on cauliflower steaks. Yeah, who knew you could take a frozen water bottle through TSA? See, I learned something in every class. Awesome. Well, Jasmine, hopefully I'll send you, I was going to send a recipe for the grilled romaine. I've got one for carrot hot dogs, which sounds weird, but they're actually really good and a big hit. But maybe we can find a way to get some of these recipes out.
Yeah, so we have a source page that has all like the webinar resources. So if you just send them to me, I'll attach them there. So when they go to the page, they can find your slides to review them. And then if they click resources, all the recipes can live right there.
Cool beans. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, well,
Right.
that's all I have.